All right, let's dive into a story that's really more of a meditation. It asks some pretty huge questions, Like, who are we, really? What exactly is memory? And what happens when the lines between our different lives just start to blur?
So everything kicks off in a cafe, but this isn't just any old coffee shop. The author immediately pulls us into this super rich sensory world. It's a place where you can almost feel the weight, the accumulated presence of every single person who's ever come here looking for a little bit of refuge. It's not just a building, it's like a crossroads for souls.
And this is where things get really interesting. This is the central mystery. A man, Marcus, shows up in a city at this cafe, and he knows it all intimately, like the back of his hand. But here's the twist. He's in a body nobody recognizes, living a life that, as far as anyone else is concerned, just never happened.
Okay, so let's try and unpack this impossible return. I mean, how do you even begin to navigate a world that has completely forgotten you, especially when you're trapped in a body that feels brand new and ancient at the very same time?
This is the fundamental paradox, right? His mind holds all the memories, all the feelings, this deep, deep familiarity with a life he once lived. But his body? It's a complete stranger to this place. And what's wild is he doesn't fight it. He doesn't try to solve it. He just arrives. And he watches this impossible situation unfold around him. And this right here, this is the only rule he's playing by, the idea of presence. He's not trying to unravel some grand mystery or demand that the universe explain itself. Nope. His one and only job is to be present, to just fully and completely accept whatever comes up. And this simple, quiet practice, it becomes the silent engine that drives the whole story forward.
So as Marcus just sits there in this cafe, simply being present, something really incredible starts to happen. People from his past life, now in totally new bodies with new names, they start showing up. Of course, they don't recognize him, but their core patterns, their old struggles, they're all echoing into their new lives.
First up, we have Vera. In their past life, she was the brave one, the one who approached Marcus and kicked everything off. Now, she's Marina, a woman who keeps her distance, hiding behind a book. Her core essence is still there, you can feel it, but it's quieter now, more cautious, kind of waiting for something to wake it up again.
Then there's Helena. In the past, she built these rigid structures, these cages of certainty, both literally and emotionally. Now, she's reborn as Katja, a very successful architect. And this is such a brilliant way to show the subtle shifts between lives. See, the armor is still there, but it's gone from this unbending certainty to a kind of professional competence. It's armor for sure, but it's got these little cracks of doubt starting to show through.
And finally, we have the philosopher. Theodore's incredible intellect was actually a cage that kept him trapped inside his own mind. Now he's Eric, and that mental fortress has been softened up by years of therapy. He's actually self-aware enough now to know his own mind is a defense mechanism, and he's actively looking for a truth that exists somewhere beyond his own thoughts. So you've got all these characters orbiting this one cafe, almost replaying their old dramas without even realizing it. So what breaks the cycle, right? How do these echoes turn into an actual reunion? Well, the answer isn't in anything Marcus does. It's in the very nature of his being. The real key here is Marcus's presence. It's this quality of awareness that doesn't judge, doesn't try to fix anyone, doesn't grasp or reject anything. The best way to think about it is like a lamp. He's not shining a flashlight on people, he just is the light. And anyone who just happens to step into that warm glow starts to see themselves with a brand new clarity. And that quiet illumination, it has a very real, very tangible effect. It kind of happens in 4 stages. First, just by being around his stillness, the character's defenses start to soften. Their walls begin to crumble. Then those old, rigid patterns from past lives, they start to lose their grip. And this leads to this dawning recognition, not of Marcus, but of this deeper connection between each other. And finally, without anyone planning it, a gathering happens. This gathering, it becomes the absolute heart of the story. And it's not a club, There's no secret handshake or membership fee. It's a community that forms completely organically, drawn together by this shared, unspoken feeling of recognition. So the whole vibe of the cafe just transforms. The conversations aren't just small talk anymore. People are really talking, sharing their deepest fears, their core struggles,
even these weird fragmented memories of a life they can't actually recall. A real community is born, not because someone is leading it, but just from this collective deepening awareness. And the depth of what they're sharing is just, wow, it's stunning. Katja admits that she spends her life building cages. Anton confesses he wasted an entire lifetime chasing power, only to end up empty and alone. Eric talks about the curse of understanding everything but never really experiencing anything. And Sophia, who's always been a runner, she finally realizes the pain she was running from was inside her all along. And this honesty, this vulnerability, it leads us to the final and most profound layer of the whole story. This gathering isn't just about healing personal hangups. It's about remembering something absolutely fundamental about the nature of reality itself. When Margus finally does speak, he makes it clear they aren't just jogging their memories about historical events from a past life. No, they're tapping into something way deeper, a connection, a state of being that exists completely outside of time. And he clarifies that there's no doctrine here. There's no complex philosophy you have to learn or memorize. The entire teaching, back then and right now, has only ever been one thing: presence. Just the simple, profound act of being willing to be right here, right now, and to see what is actually happening.
This is the key. This is the big one. It's a paradox that unlocks the whole thing. The awareness inside you that's searching for peace, for connection, for meaning, that awareness is the very peace and connection it's looking for. The seeker is the sought.
And when you really get that, it leads to this incredible conclusion. The story is suggesting that our true essence, this core awareness, was never born, and therefore it can never die. Our lives, our personalities, our stories, they're all just costumes that are worn by something eternal.
Which leaves us with this one last, lingering question to chew on. The story suggests that this whole life thing is a kind of dream. But if that's true, it forces us to ask, who or what is doing the dreaming? And is the dreamer even separate from the dream at all? It's a question with no easy answer. And maybe, just maybe, the asking is the whole point.